Wuivende handen waren de laatste getuigen van mensen die van me hielden. Meer en meer verdween het land en toen zee en lucht met elkaar verzoend waren aan de horizon, toen staarde ik droomverloren over de eindeloze blauwigheid.
With these words, Therese Casteloot, better known as Sister Goede Lieve, leaves Belgium for Ceylon in June of 1953 to help her fellow sisters with the charity work they've been doing there ever since 1929. Sister Goede Lieve is my grand-aunt, and now, more than 62 years later, me and my boyfriend Tim go to Sri Lanka ourselves, wondering what's left of the school for deaf children that the Belgian sisters founded there. Sri Lanka is a country in South Asia and counts over 22 million inhabitants. 10% of them is hearing impaired. That is a lot more than the worldwide average of 5%, and in Flanders, that's only 1 out of 100. One of the main causes of being deaf is inbreeding. It happens a lot that people marry a cousin. Their children are often born with a disability. The St. Joseph School for Deaf Children is based in Ragama, 16 kilometers away from the capital city Colombo.
Hello, I'm Jana.
This is Sister Malrani. She's the principal of the school. The St. Joseph School has about 115 pupils, all between the age of 3 and 18. The children get the same courses as any other pupil, only in sign language.
Wow, it's a lot of information for all the kids. They have to learn reading lips, they have to learn sign language, they have to learn English.
There are also handicraft courses, such as woodworking. These courses should help the pupils to find a job more easily, although most of them have other dreams.
You want to work in the bank?
In the bank?
Yeah.
Every morning, the pupils have to be at school at 7:30. For a lot of children, it's quite difficult to get there on time. Because there are few deaf schools in Sri Lanka, most pupils have to travel far. The youngest children are accompanied by their mothers. They wait at school until the lessons are over to go back home together. This is Akash. He wants to show us how he travels from school every day. Along with Sister Malrani and Akash's mother, we start our trip. last part of our trip, Mary Margaret, Akash's mother, tells us about her family.
Okay. Tinggal apa tu again? Increase. Give you some drink. Okay. Thanks.
Every morning, it takes Akash 2 hours to get to school. And in the afternoon, he has to travel the same way back. That is why Akash has to get up really early.
So they get up
3 o'clock.
every day.
Every day it's 3. What a life, no?
What if to love and be loved's not enough? What if I fall and can't bear to get up? Oh, I wish for once we could stay gold. We could stay gold. We could stay.
There are not only deaf children at the St. Joseph School. There's also a special unit for children with other disabilities. The school isn't obliged to teach them, but the sisters believe it is important that these children also get a basic education. This is Jochen. He is mentally disabled and also deaf. He can only rely on his parents and teachers. When asked what will happen to him once his parents are passed away, a painful silence is the only answer.
There's still a little bit of your taste in my mouth. Still a little bit of you laced with my doubt. There's still a little hard to say what's going on.
Special units aren't a perfect solution for disabled children. Nonetheless, a lot of deaf children end up in a special unit at a normal school. Most of the time, they don't get the right help and are unable to communicate with anybody else. When searching for deaf children in a normal school, no one wants to help us.
You get that permission or something like that? Do you have no permission in Sri Lanka? No. So wait. Yeah.
The Sisters of St. Joseph's lead us to an adult man who grew up in a special unit at a normal school.
Ja, St. Joseph, het staat erop.
Sewing for the deaf. Sewing.
Zo.
This is Taranga. He is 30 years old and learned sign language when he was already 11 years old. As a child, he was very lonely because he was not able to communicate with anyone. The sewing center where Taranga is employed was founded by the Sisters of St. Joseph's to create more jobs for deaf people. Currently, 7 people are employed at the sewing center.
Slow
During our last day in Sri Lanka, we are going back to St. Joseph's to say goodbye to the pupils and sisters. Despite all difficulties deaf people face every day, the St. Joseph School puts a lot of effort in educating deaf children and employing adults. That's why Sister Malrani is hopeful for the future.
That's a hope. They will have good normal life within society. The education help them to stand their own feet and have a job, and to with the dignity they will live one day.
Wise men say I don't wanna hear your voice.
Het is hier tof en al.